last year, I thought the Galaxy S8 was a better looking phone than the iPhone X, and as you're well aware, the Galaxy S9 looks nearly identical, so in that case, it still holds true here. Don't get me wrong, the iPhone X is a beautiful phone with those aluminum sides, the all-glass back, particularly in silver, but in terms of a complete package, I still lean in this case towards the S9 Plus. Now, what would a massive comparison be without a giveaway? So your choice, the Galaxy S9 Plus or iPhone X, wrapped in your D-brand skin of choice. For details on how to win, make sure you guys hit the link below. Now, as similar as both these phones can be, they're flagship smartphones priced pretty equally. They have dual cameras, super tall, beautiful displays. They both seem to go down two separate paths. The Galaxy S9 Plus is definitely a more practical phone, whereas with the iPhone X, you definitely sacrifice a lot. Right off the bat, like I've talked about, the Galaxy S9 Plus has a headphone jack, and that is a super rare thing these days. If you tend to lean towards wireless headphones, then it might not be a huge deal, but if you love those wired headphones, the Galaxy S9 Plus is going to let you use those without a stupid dongle or adapter. On top of that, you also get expandable storage via microSD with the Galaxy S9 Plus. In this case, it is officially supported up to 400 gigabytes, which is kind of a big deal. I tend to lean towards the cloud lifestyle, whether it be Spotify or Dropbox, so expandable storage has never been really a huge thing for me, but if you take a ton of photos, video, or you want to store lossless music, there's one huge advantage with the S9 Plus. Next, let's go ahead and talk about displays. They're both beautiful, but in this case, the Galaxy S9 Plus features a bigger and higher resolution screen. That size is in at 6.2 inches with an aspect ratio of 18.5 by 9. The iPhone X is 5.8 inches, and in classic Apple fashion, they're doing things just a little bit different with an aspect ratio of 19.5 by 9. Now, the iPhone X is a really good looking display, but there is something about the Samsung displays that is just the colors, the contrast, the saturation, in this case the size of the Galaxy S9 Plus, just make it an overall more enjoyable experience over the iPhone X. There's something about it where you look at it, the image just kind of looks like it pops off the screen to the point where it almost doesn't look real. Now, because Apple's opted to go with no fingerprint reader and Face ID as your main form of security on the iPhone X, that leads to two things. One is no home button, and two is that notch. The Galaxy S9 Plus, on the other hand, again, follows that trend of being the more practical phone. You have way more options. There's Face Unlock, which it is worth noting that that is the least secure option. You have Iris Unlock, then you have a combination of both of those where it uses your face and your eyes. And then of course, the main form of security on the Galaxy S9 Plus is going to be the fingerprint reader, which is now in a much better location right smack underneath the cameras. Now, in terms of unlocking your phone with your face, the iPhone X and Face ID is going to be the more secure option, but honestly, that is because it is your only option, whereas with the Galaxy S9 Plus, that is more of a complementary feature to the fingerprint reader. I've used the iPhone X a ton. Face ID for the most part works really well. There are certain times where I still miss having that actual fingerprint reader, so again, having both options on the Galaxy S9 Plus is definitely a good thing. Now, because of those design choices, that completely changes how you use these phones. The iPhone X has absolutely no home button, so it is a completely different way of doing things. If you're browsing the web, for example, and you want to go back home on the iPhone X, you simply swipe up. If you want to multitask, you're not pressing a button, rather, you are dragging and sliding to the right. It's different, but once you get used to it, it's definitely super fast and intuitive. There definitely are some dumb things though with the iPhone X and the lack of home button, specifically trying to access Control Center. To get to that, you have to swipe down from the top right-hand corner, which to this day still isn't a smooth process for me. The Galaxy S9 Plus, on the other hand, features a home button underneath their Infinity display, and they do a really good job of hiding it when you don't need it and bringing it back when you do. I'm not going to say that one is significantly better than the other, they are just different. If you use the iPhone X for a while, you're going to get used to that, and going back to a home button is going to feel really awkward. And conversely, if you use the Galaxy S9 and you like the home button, you like that way of navigating, that is going to feel more comfortable. Now, one key difference when you stack the Galaxy S8 side by side against the iPhone X was the iPhone X had stereo speakers, whereas the Galaxy S8 did not. That though is one of the new features on the Galaxy S9, stereo speakers, so it kind of levels the playing field, so to speak, but honestly, after stacking these two side by side, I think the Galaxy S9 Plus does the job just a little bit better. This is a short film by my buddy Coop, who is amazingly talented, but it's going to give us a taste of music, dialogue, sound effects, and if you have headphones, throw them on now for the best listening experience.
Shirts? Yeah. Real Burkhardt. Yeah. You know why I pulled you over today? No, sir. You got any weapons in the car? No. Anything illegal on you? No. Any drugs? No, nothing. Anything I should know about? Not to my knowledge. Where you headed?
So they're close, they're both loud, they're both extremely clear. There's just something a little bit fuller on the Galaxy S9 Plus that I seem to prefer. It is worth noting that there is Dolby Atmos support with the S9 Plus this year, so I think that's the magic sauce that kind of takes things over the top. Now, one big upgrade of the Galaxy S9, at least internally and in the US, is going to be the Snapdragon 845 processor. It's going to lead to better performance, better battery efficiency, 960 FPS slow motion video, which I will talk about shortly, but it still shows us two things. One, how fast the iPhone X, and two, how far ahead Apple is in terms of smartphone processors. My good buddy Austin Evans also dropped a comparison of the iPhone X versus the Galaxy S9 Plus, so if you want to see a different perspective, I'll drop a link down below. But the one thing Austin does love is benchmarks, so I crashed the studio.
There are the numbers. The Geekbench has been very thorough here. iPhone.
Wow, it's pretty fast. There definitely is performance improvements with the Galaxy S9 over the S8, but again, when you stack everything side by side, that's kind of where you got to give Apple a little bit of credit. I do want to say though, don't let benchmarks kind of hinder or ruin your thoughts or view on a specific phone. I think we get too sucked up into that. We're at this point, honestly, where phones, period, are fast, whether they're budget, whether they're premium. So just because the iPhone X on paper is faster than the Galaxy S9 Plus, you're still going to get a silky smooth experience out of both of these phones. Next from there, let's go and talk about one of the more important elements on a smartphone, the camera. The iPhone X and the Galaxy S9 Plus both feature dual cameras, and spoiler alert, they are both really good. It is worth noting that if you want dual cameras though, you will have to go for the S9 Plus model because the regular Galaxy S9 only features a single lens. Now, the one feature I'm sure you've heard all about on the Galaxy S9 and 9 Plus is going to be the variable aperture camera. Some people say it's amazing, some people say it's a gimmick. Essentially what it does is allows the Galaxy S9 to adapt in lower lighting situations and change from f2.4 down to 1.5. Is it magic? No, but it definitely makes a little bit of a difference. So here the Galaxy S9 Plus is on the left, the iPhone X on the right. There wasn't a ton of light here, and I think as a whole, the Galaxy S9 Plus does a better job all the way around. From the color to the contrast, to the sharpness, to the way it exposes the shadows, to the overall brightness, the Galaxy S9 Plus looks really nice, and it's pretty clear the iPhone X is struggling here. Here in the shot, we're using the wide-angle lens on both of the phones, and I think I prefer the iPhone X here. The Galaxy S9 Plus is a little cooler, whereas the iPhone X is a little truer to life in how it actually looked in the room. As we hop over to the telephoto lens, it's the same idea here. The Galaxy S9 Plus is really sharp, but I think as a whole, the iPhone X definitely looks truer to life, so I prefer it here again. Hopping over to this shot of the light bulb, here I prefer the Galaxy S9 Plus. The sharpness really pops, especially if you focus on these strands of light, and I think the exposure as a whole on the Galaxy S9 is more balanced compared to the iPhone X. Moving over to this shot, I wouldn't say that one is particularly better than the other. I think it's a case of clearly the iPhone X is warmer, where the Galaxy S9 Plus definitely lends to lean cool. And because of that, I think it comes down to preference. The one thing I will say is the Galaxy S9 Plus is definitely sharper here. Moving over to the outdoor shot, this is kind of a toss-up between these two. Both the iPhone X and Galaxy S9 Plus look fantastic, and it's a clear example of when you have the right elements, both are going to look amazing. As we move over to a lower light evening shot, I think both look great, but the iPhone X in this particular case does a better job of exposing for the sky and the building together. With the S9 Plus, we definitely lose a little bit of the detail in the sky with the clouds, and in the iPhone X, it is super clear. This shot here is very similar to that flower shot in the sense that it's pretty much a toss-up. I'm not sure which one I really like better. They both do a fantastic job exposing for the sky, and again, it's a perfect example of how good these cameras are. Moving over to portrait mode, which is where the dual cameras on both of these phones really shine. Big shout out to Mr. Jock Slade for being the model in this picture. You guys make sure to check him out. I will link him down below. But in this case, I think I prefer the iPhone X. The sky's a little more natural. Jock is a little more natural. The Galaxy S9 Plus isn't bad, but the iPhone X as a whole is doing a better job. The one kind of party trick that I'll say is cool with the Galaxy S9 Plus is in portrait mode, you still have the ability to retain the wide angle shot, and that's something you can't do on the iPhone X.
Hi, Lamar.
Hi, John.
So we're at 4K 30 FPS on the beautiful Galaxy S9 Plus.
That is a beautiful phone. Can I have it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How beautiful.
We're gonna go Inception. Now we're on the iPhone X. Hey.
I am one handsome guy, even though I can't see myself. Oh, actually can see myself through there.
It's Lamarception. So that's a quick test of the iPhone X, Galaxy S9 Plus. That beautiful man's channel is linked down below.
Oh, thank you.
Say goodbye.
Really handsome. Okay, bye.
Now from there, moving over to the front-facing cameras, first let's check out some video.
So we are on the front-facing camera on the Galaxy S9 Plus. Gonna walk a bit. It's a nice Mickey Mouse shirt, Rich. and let's hop over to the iPhone 10. And we are on the iPhone 10. Can't see Rich's Mickey Mouse shirt, but let me know what you guys think of the quality, the clarity, and also how the audio sounds.
So in terms of video, I wouldn't say one is drastically better than the other, but as far as photos, I definitely hands down prefer the Galaxy S9. Yeah, you definitely got to turn off beauty mode on the Galaxy S9, but once you're past that, the overall wideness of the lens, the color, the dynamic range, how it exposes for your face and the sky at the same time, it's just more satisfying on the S9. Also, with both of these, you can do portrait selfies, and I think the moral of the story here is the Pixel 2 is still the king as far as this goes. The Galaxy S9 Plus isn't doing a bad job, it's just a little overexposed, and it just looks a little unnatural. And the iPhone 10, of course, just seems to hate my ears, so I've never been a true fan of how the iPhone handles portrait selfies. Now from there, let's go ahead and talk about slow motion video. And that's actually one advantage of the Galaxy S9 with a feature that is nowhere available on the iPhone 10, that is slow motion video up to 960 frames per second. Now it is worth mentioning that the 960 FPS slow motion video on the Galaxy S9 is one, only 720p resolution, and two, it will only capture really short bursts. There are actually two ways to do this. One, you can leave it on automatic where the Galaxy S9 is actually looking for the action to happen, that way you don't have to try and react. Or two, you can try and do it yourself, but it's a little bit challenging. Now with frame rates that high, you do need a lot of light to make this look good, so potentially a more practical feature that both of these phones share is 240 frames per second slow motion video at 1080p. So after comparing those side by side, I definitely prefer the iPhone X's 240 FPS slow motion, and really, I would say video as a whole is the better option on the iPhone X. It's nice that the Galaxy S9 Plus can now go up to 4K 60 frames per second, but once you enable that, you actually lose video stabilization, and when you're at 4K 30, you can only record video up to 5 minutes, which is a little bit of a bummer. Now sadly, I can't say for this video that no phones were harmed during the making of this video. The Galaxy S9 Plus took a tragic fall, but as they say, anything for the shot. Now as far as battery life, both of these phones are going to get you through the day. The Galaxy S9 Plus, on the other hand, will do a slightly better job overall. If you stack up the Galaxy S9 Plus versus the Galaxy S9, it has a slightly beefier battery at 3500 milliamp hours versus 3000, so I think that difference there is the difference maker when you stack it next to the iPhone X. Not to say that the iPhone X is bad by any means, it is definitely better than the iPhone 8 and 7, but I still think as far as battery king, that goes to the iPhone 8 Plus as far as Apple goes. Now in terms of smaller features that most likely aren't going to make a huge difference in terms of why you would want one of these phones, the iPhone X features animojis.
Yo, I'm an Animoji. I'm way cooler than AR emojis.
And as we all know, the Galaxy S9 and 9 Plus feature AR emoji, which is kind of creepy.
Yo, I'm an AR emoji. I'm way cooler than Animojis. None of these are cool.
With the iPhone X, you have Siri. With the Galaxy S9 Plus, you have Bixby. So in that case, it's kind of like choose your poison. And those are pretty much the biggest differences between the Galaxy S9 Plus and the iPhone X. You do, of course, have the age-old debate of iOS versus Android. Honestly, it comes down to your preference and what you're used to as far as that goes. But these are both two amazing phones. I would say the Galaxy S9 Plus is definitely the overall well-rounded phone out of these two, with the headphone jack, USB-C, quick charging out of the box, a beautiful display, great low-light cameras. But that is just my opinion. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did and you are feeling like being awesome, make sure you guys smash that like button. Again, I'm giving away your choice, either the Galaxy S9 Plus or iPhone X from D brand. Hit the link below. This is Jonathan, and I will catch you guys later.